Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out something called Shabby Buffet by developer Dev Tactics. You can see there's a scene of utter chaos unfolding beyond just this menu right in front of us. So what we're getting into today, it's yet another LD28 game. This is again on the concept of you only get one. In this case, you only get one plate. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be trying to take our plate from our seat to the buffet, load it up with food, and bring it back to the table. Thing is, these other diners, they're basically out of their minds, and they're trying to destroy the entire place, so we've got to avoid them and try and make our way back. The thing is, I also know this is not actually a winnable game, so before we get too worked up about it, we're not actually going to be winning this one. I just think it's so hilarious running around in this crazy room that I thought it would be worth showing you guys, and I wanted to urge the developer if he ever does see this, that it's definitely a concept that should be built upon. So let's just start it out and have a look. The room's already been destroyed. I haven't even hardly done anything yet. I think I was supposed to start up the game a little bit faster than that. So I actually need to make my way over to the buffet up at the front and go grab a plate. I don't know what these dudes are doing. They're like sort of low poly modeled, and they sort of remind me a little bit of like sock puppet Peter Griffins or something. I don't know, that's maybe a little bit of a stretch, but I find them quite hilarious. And the fact that all the furniture is so physics enabled that it seems to be a little bit explosive at times. It seems to just jump around, and the tables get very easily upturned, and things get very out of control very quickly. I think that's quite hilarious as well. Also, the game takes 2 presses of the escape button to quit. If you press it just one time, though, it loads in basically like an entire another level on top of this one, which is just, all the physics-enabled objects essentially show up a second time, which results in some pretty hilarious hijinks, but unfortunately it kills the frame rate down to basically nothing, so I'll probably do that on our closing. So there are food stations. They're color-coded. I guess green are like peas. White is like little pellets, I guess like mashed potato chunks or something, and then we've got like slabs of bologna over here, you'll see, as they eject forcefully from their little, almost looks like toilet-shaped holders. And basically the problem and the reason that this game is unwinnable is apparently there's an issue with the colliders and things just sort of slip off of each other, which is very unfortunate because I really wanted to see how difficult this would be. It reminds me a lot of Table for One in terms of its bizarre premise, and yeah, alright, so we can't seem to put anything on the plate at all. The ground is now covered in little food pellets. What about the bologna? Can we get any bologna on here? It doesn't seem like it. Yeah, even if we get them to land on the plate, they don't actually stay on there for more than a second. When I saw in the description thing that this game was unwinnable, I looked at that as a challenge, that maybe I was going to be able to figure out a way to get through that or persevere and do it anyway. Apparently, it doesn't really matter how good you are. It's just not going to happen. But you can fill up the whole room with peas, so that's a thing. Yeah, look at that, and creates a very strange, sort of like a bike seat pattern on the ground. And this is very bizarre patterns of things that are happening in this game. And this is exactly why I wanted to bring it to your attention, because it's stuff like this that I find very entertaining. And I think you might feel a little bit of the same way. If some of my successful videos have been any indication, it seems to be that if food and physics come into play at any given point, it's usually the recipe for, and get it, see what I did there? A recipe for a good video, and at the very least, a recipe for a very fun and entertaining game premise, and that's exactly what I think we have here. We just need, a little bit more work on this one. It is an LD game. It was designed in 48 hours. I like the idea behind it. I would love to see this brought to its fullest completion, get the, more food stuff going on. It looks like having so much stuff on the screen is actually starting to kill the frame rate a little bit, and the way you win normally would have been to head back to the green chair, which has been upturned over here. There's actually a couple of green chairs, but I'm not even sure if I could sit on them even if I wanted to, and I have no food anyway, so it's not going to work out for us. I know that, but yet the chaos of the situation brings me back for more. There's no sound, there's no music, just really strangely modeled Peter Griffin sock puppets, like I said. And that's enough for me. I think the fact that they have name tags and no arms also helps quite a bit, too. And their faces are just like a big blocky square, kind of, well, polygonal chunk, more so than anything. The room, though, is surprisingly nicely modeled. I mean, there's an intricate floor pattern on the carpet. The chairs actually have some nice texturing done to them. The tables actually look fairly good. I mean, there's not like cloth modeling or anything, but they look fine. And then the fact that the room is open like this, has these pillars. I don't know what this dude's doing. He's trying to get in my way. And I just noticed they all seem to be floating a few inches off the floor, which may or may not be concerning. I also find it entertaining that there's a jump button, but then in the description it was like, "What do you need to use jump for? You're in a buffet. Calm down." I agree. Why don't we? Well, if you look at the other patrons, they're pretty far from calming down. It looks like they're all raging at their bill, or maybe they're all about to die from some horrible disease. And maybe I shouldn't be eating here anyway because it seems to turn you into a zombie or something. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot else to say. This is really just a framework for a game, but I find it so entertaining anyway that I figured, why not? Let's have a quick look at it. If anybody gleans a few moments of enjoyment from this premise, these dudes are flipping the table now. They're acting like their favorite football team just won or something. You got to celebrate by taking out all the furniture, and maybe they'll throw a car through a window or something. Too bad you can't see outside, actually. I would like to see the view from this, what appears to be like a hotel floor area. Like they're going to have the catering show up, and everybody's going to be buffeting out up into the midnight hours. I mean, where else would you take a game like this beyond filling up your plate, walking back to your chair, and sitting down? Like, what other elements would you add to a situation like this? Maybe you could have different styles of party, different scenarios essentially that would result in more difficult challenges. For example, maybe you're in a nightclub and you have, a plate full of cocktail weenies that you have to deliver to a patron's table or something, or, even if you just want to eat them yourself and they're coming from the bar and you want to go meet a girl or something over on the other side of the room, and then you got to get through all the people dancing and memorize their patterns. I don't know, I feel like there's some fertile ground here for exploration that I would love to see done, and I think Dev Tactics can do this if it just takes a little bit more time. So, I mean, I'd love to hear your ideas. What else do you think could be done with this concept? Also, please, if the dev is listening, continue the physics modeling and just make it even more ridiculous if you wouldn't mind. If you could bust out the windows, have these pillars break down, have the chairs break into smaller pieces that maybe you could trip over. I mean, I know things can get a little fishy when you get into, like, calculating things that granular, but still, I think it would be interesting to see. And of course, frame rate needs to be optimized quite a bit. Has probably a lot to do with the fact that there's so many chairs in this big open room, but also I'm running a pretty beefy computer, and this should be not much of anything for it. I mean, running Skyrim with like 3,000 cabbages, I don't think, if I can do that, I should have no problem handling a little bit of food on the floor and some big chunky tables and chairs. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents anyway. I think this is a great idea. I'd love to see more, and I hope you guys would as well. So let me know what your comments are in the description or in the comments below, of course. And if you want to check out this one, there will be a download link and, of course, also a web link if you want to play this right in your browser with the Unity web player. There's going to be a link, like I said. So go check it out. Let me know what you think. And, of course, check out my other social media information as well if you'd like. I've got a Twitter. I've got a Facebook. I've got a Twitch page where I stream. And of course, lastly, indie-impressions.com, where you can check out over 600 other episodes in the series, so feel free to find something else you might be interested in. Plenty of other wacky, bizarre simulation-style games like this available over there, so if you want to sort them all, that would be the place to do it. Check out the bottom of the table, too. It's a solid tablecloth that goes all the way around. I guess maybe, if we're going to go all out, maybe cloth physics would be kind of cool, but I'm not really going to hold my breath for it or anything like that. But that'll do it for another episode, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully you come back again tomorrow. New episodes are every single day, so I'll see you back then, and I hope you have a terrific night. And I'll close with pressing escape and watching the furniture explode. Enjoy.